Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome or welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we're making apple fritters. Now, cooking apple fritters is awesome because it's a delicious and easy way to enjoy the flavors of fall. Here we're going to combine the crispiness and sweetness of apples with a light and fluffy dough, ultimately creating one delicious treat. So stay tuned to see how we make this dessert work. And without further ado, let's get started. Hey everyone, so before we get started, make sure you hit that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to help YouTube know to push this recipe out to so many people. Now to begin, we're going to need a large bowl, and in that bowl we want to add in 2 large eggs, followed by a 1/3 cup of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 tablespoon's worth of unsalted butter that's been melted. Whisking those together until they're well combined. And this will create our wet mix. And we can just set that aside for now. In a separate medium-sized bowl, we want to add 1 1/4 cups worth of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of granulated white sugar, 2 teaspoons worth of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a pinch of nutmeg, as well as a pinch of ground ginger. Whisk those together to create the dry mix for this recipe. Now we're going to pour in the dry mix into our wet mix and mix that until the dough just forms, absorbing all of the dry mix into the wet. Our next step here is to dice up our apples. First, we're going to peel them. I use an attachment on my KitchenAid to make the process go faster, but you can always peel these by hand as well. And once you have them peeled, you also want to remove the core from each apple. In total for this recipe, we're going to need about 2 to 3 large Honeycrisp apples. And once they're peeled, you want to take a sharp knife and dice them into thin, small pieces. We want to fold in our diced apples into the batter, tossing until they're all evenly distributed. Our next step is the frying, and for that we want to heat our oil in a deep frying pan or a deep fryer to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. You want to test the oil first by frying 1 fritter, which is about 1/4 cup's worth of the batter. We want to fry this until the first side is golden brown, and then you want to flip it and repeat that process until it's all golden brown. This should take a total of about 4 minutes. So you want to flip the fritter the first time about 2 minutes into the frying. Once it's done frying, you want to transfer the fritter to a paper towel lined plate and repeat this process with the remaining batter, working in batches of 3 to 4 fritters, depending on the size of your pan or your deep fryer. With all our fritters fried, now in a small bowl, we want to whisk together 1 cup's worth of powdered sugar with 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 3 to 4 teaspoons worth of milk. I use 2% milk in this recipe, but feel free to use whole milk as well. Whisking it until you get a slightly thick glaze, so you want to be mindful about how much milk you add. I like adding 1 teaspoon at a time and whisk as I go. You're aiming for a consistency like you see here. Our final step is to drizzle each cooled apple fritter with this glaze and allow the glaze to harden before we can serve them and enjoy. And just like that, you've made apple fritters right at home. These are an awesome option for breakfast. You can even substitute the apple filling with trying some diced peaches or pears as well. Biting into one of these apple fritters, you can see that the dough is fully cooked through, it's light and airy, and it has all those seasonal flavors that you associate with apple pie. You got that cinnamon, nutmeg, and even hints of ginger within every bite. But when you do try this recipe at home, be sure to tag me at Chef Vic Cuisine or hashtag Chef Vic Cuisine so I can see your great takes on this dish. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 4, Enhancing Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make apple fritters. And if you did, be sure to smash that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to show support for this channel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you also hit that subscribe button to see more recipes just like this one. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will like it too, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week where I show you to make an awesome lunch option, my Philly cheesesteak recipe. Super easy to make and they are mouth-watering good. Well, thank you again so much for watching this recipe. Be sure to share with all your family and friends so they can see it. Subscribe to this channel to see more recipes just like this one. YouTube thinks you'll like these recipes, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.